Hi, this is Susan Barzicchini. I'm the author of Inventive Wire Weaving from Calabach Publishing. I'm going to be on Jewel School October 8th and 9th in 2018. I'd like to show you some items that we'll be covering during those segments. So right now what I'm doing is I'm preparing step out for a Jewel School for JTV. And the first thing that I do is before I do anything is I have to make sure all my measurements are accurate so that when I do my step outs, which step outs just simply mean that I have all my steps all in order so that I know exactly how I'm going to present this information. These are the earrings that we're going to be making on Jewel School Extra. And so the first thing I do is I make the piece and then I make more pieces until I get to the point where I'm really happy with the design. And this is my final design here. So what I have here in front of us is this is the very first component or the very first step, and that starts off, I need to know exactly what measurement I'm taking. So right here, this is 56 centimeters of 16 gauge wire. So I come in and I cut that wire at 56 centimeters, and then I can fold this in half, and then I begin my step. Once I get to that point, then I write everything down here exactly where I'm at, and then as I progress, I double check it. So that's why you see so many different pieces here, is because I check, I double check, and then I make little steps in order to present that information in Jewel School. Okay. So October 8th and 9th, I'll be performing some demonstrations on how to make some of these items. The first item I'd like to point out is an Art Nouveau pair of earrings, and the technique that I will be covering on that is how to set a cabochon without using heat, soldering. It is a special technique that I will go over, which is pretty compelling because I know a lot of people are a little bit leery about using heat with their jewelry, but I do show you how to get around that with just a few tools. The other thing we'll be covering is how to twist wire and how to make your piece symmetrical. So that's all part of that lesson. And the other thing that we'll be covering is we'll be covering how to finger loop to get this appearance. So the looping that you see there is mostly done with just fingers and trying to keep that as symmetrical as possible. So the other items that we'll be covering is we will be covering how to bezel a cabochon using wire and using flat stones. There is no holes in this stone. The stone is totally captured in wire. Here's another example. This is another cabochon. This is a cabochon that I made using resin and dried flowers. And so all this, if you look at this weave, the weave is very much similar, and that's the main component that we will be discussing on Jewel School. Here's another example of that. Again, it's the very same weave, and you're just simply following that shape around the cabochon. This neck cuff, that's covered in my book, which is Inventive Wire Weaving. What I want to show you is a couple of other projects that we'll be covering on Jewelry TV at Jewel School. This right here is the Chakra Tree of Life pendant, and I'll discuss not only how to make the Tree of Life, but I'll also discuss in how to make this frame around that and how we go about doing that. The other thing I'd like to show you is how we put together the loopy ring. And although that won't be a step-by-step process, I showed you enough information so that you could actually recreate the loopy ring. This ring is actually very simple to make, and here I show some steps here that I'll be covering while I'm on Jewel School. So all of these items will be discussed on Jewel School on those 2 days, on October 8th and October 9th, and I really hope that you'll join me. Thank you.